Hello and welcome to 7-Minute Guitar. Today we're going to talk about dominant 7th chords. Usually these chords are just referred to as 7th chords. So if you hear someone say a 7th, they're talking about a dominant 7th. But rarely will you hear people say a dominant 7th, B dominant 7th. They'll just refer to the whole chord as C7, D7, G7. Let's get started. So for the A7, the picture showed using the index finger and the ring finger. By now, hopefully you've found a comfortable way to make your A major. You're either making your A major with your index through ring finger, or you're making it with your middle finger through your pinky finger. Now, if you do it the way they show, you've got your index finger, your ring finger, and your middle finger is raised. Well, that's fine. A lot of times I personally will make my A7th with my ring finger here, my middle finger here on the 4th string and my ring finger on the 2nd string, leaving nothing to block the G note on the 3rd string. Just be careful for fingernails that buzz against other strings like you've just heard. There we go. For the B7, if you've been using the bar method, these bar chordings, to work your way around the neck, then you can easily make that A7 using your ring finger and your pinky. Here's your A7, and if you slide it up 2 steps, here's a B7. Now the B7 they show in the picture is a very common way to make the B7. Index finger right here on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and then in the 2nd fret these other fingers go middle finger on the 5th string, ring finger on the 3rd string, and pinky finger on the 1st string. Personal opinion, I believe that the C7th is one of the easiest chords to make. If you're really good at your C chord already, here's your C major. Then you take your pinky and drop it right here on the 3rd string in the 3rd fret, and now you have your C7. For the D7th chord, well, here's our D major, and on the last video in the major 7ths we had our D major 7, and now for our D7th, the dominant 7th, we take our index finger here on string number 2, and we put our middle finger on string number 3 at the 2nd fret, and our ring finger on string number 1 at the 2nd fret. Now, when I was learning these chords, I would sit and strum and practice the D chord, the major 7th chord, the dominant 7th chord, and then I would just raise my finger to let that B note play through. And it kind of soothing, and it allowed me to practice my chords. Give it a try. For the E7th, we take our E chord, put our fingers where they belong, there's our E major, and then raise up the ring finger. This is an E7th. If you are so inclined, you can add this D note with your pinky right here on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and that's still an E7. It just adds a high flavor of a note. So if you're using the bar chord method to get around the neck, you know that you have your E major, you have your F major, And now in this case, if I raise up my pinky, here is my F dominant 7th. Now if I slide it up another 1 fret, there's an F sharp 7th, and of course here is a G 7th. Let's look at another way to make a G7. So for a G7, if you're still making your G7 with your fingers in this placement, you have to move everybody around in order to get to your G7. If you're making your G major with your fingers in this placement using the pinky on the 1st fret, all you have to do for a G7 is lower your index finger on the 1st string, 1st fret, and then raise off your pinky finger. So in order to get practice, one good way is to play around. Walk down and walk up to your 7th chords, and then just practice your fingering. And just have fun with it. So real quick, if you're wondering, where am I going to use a 7th chord? A lot of times, maybe blues will use a 7th. So thanks for watching 7-Minute Guitar. As always, the photos used in the video will be placed at facebook.com/7minuteguitar under the photo album entitled Chords. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Thumbs up the video.